Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on Superman Lois Season 4. Today we're going to be breaking down the trailer for episode 9, so if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos later this year. So episode 9 is the penultimate episode of Season 4, the final season of Superman Lois. The episode is officially titled To Live and Die Again, which is a great title because as we saw last episode, it was teased that Superman will eventually die at one point, but in the meantime, we know with Lex going into his Lexo suit in the next episode, he is going to be targeting Superman with the intention of killing him, because that's what you saw in last episode. But now he's going to have a massive tech overhaul to John Henry Irons' suit, and he's going to be very overpowered and definitely be able to hold up against the Kryptonians that he's going to be facing. I'm guessing his Lexo suit is going to be absolutely full of kryptonite and little devices that have been made by Brainiac himself. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this trailer breakdown. So the first shot of the trailer is of Lex, and Lex is in LexCorp. He's just looking out into Metropolis on the landscape. He's still clean shaven, so that's a look that I think he really pulled off last episode, although it's a bit strange not to have that kind of scruffy looking Lex that we've had since we first saw him. This is more of your traditional looking Lex Luthor, but he's still that same kind of gritty Lex Luthor that we're not entirely used to. Like, he is a lot more hardcore than past versions of Lex. So let's move on to the next shot. We got the boys, and I should mention that Lex in the voiceover says, "You're no match for what's next," talking to Clark. He says, "Your boys, they're in training now, and Lois, there is nothing she can do. I'm coming after everything you've ever loved." So we're going to talk about that bit by bit as we go through. Talking of the boys who are in training, as Lex says, he thinks he can easily defeat them with his new suit, and I would say, yeah, with the kryptonite, he probably can balance the playing field and probably beat the hell out of them, but maybe it'll be pretty even depending on if they use the heat vision or not. And you got this shot here of the boys, and they're inside this football stadium, but it's got like a haystack behind. I don't know if it's actually a football stadium, it could be like something different, but they're outside. We've seen this shot before. We know Superman is here. He's going to be doing a shirt rip, that classic shot that we love in Superman Lois and all Superman related media. And it was great to see so many. A couple of episodes back, everyone kind of lost their minds when we got the Superman reveal, and we know he's going to be here during the scene, but the question is, why are they here? And we know that Superman is dressed normally in this scene until he does the shirt rip. So the question is, why do they fly off? Because you see at the end of that shot, they fly off instantly. And are they chasing Superman, or is Superman going after someone else? Like, the look on Jonathan's face, it seems like there is someone in front of them, but they instantly fly away. So I really don't know exactly what's going down in this scene. But let's move on to the next shot, and this is the boys in training. So they're fighting against a hologram version of Lex's Lexo suit, and this is obviously to prepare for the battle, because finally we're going to see Jordan and Jonathan teaming up together and fighting Lex alongside Superman. And I don't know if John Henry Irons or Natalie are going to be any help, because now they've been incapacitated with their suits being stolen and one destroyed. So that's definitely going to be something that we can look forward to in terms of the two Superboys teaming up together to take down Lex along with their father. Also, I should mention at this point, they've still not got suits for themselves. Like, I really do hope they get a full House of L suit before the end of the show. But with episodes running out, with us only having 2 episodes left, I think that's becoming more and more unlikely, because maybe it will be like a final kind of snippet at the end of the series finale, but we're not really going to see them much in the suit if there is a suit to be worn. And in this fight in the fortress, it does look like Jordan is kind of struggling and Jonathan is taking a step back, so he presumably goes to fight the hologram version of Lex's Lexo suit. Now, I don't know how accurate it is, but you can see the Lexo suit wielding the hammer that John Henry Irons usually wears, so I don't know if this is just an old hologram of John Henry so that they can fight him and just give them a taste of like what it's like to actually fight against that suit specifically. And so let's move on to the next shot. So as we heard in the voice overlay, Lois, she can't really do anything right now, and that's because journalistic wise and court wise, everything has kind of been thrown out the window. Like, nothing's really working in her favor right now because Lex has got his hands in everything and he is one step ahead all the time. And last episode we found out that Otis was killed, or he supposedly hung himself in prison, and so he is a witness that is out of the window. She can't go to him anymore. There is obviously still Lex's daughter who is willing to testify, but that's a bit risky, and obviously with Milton on their side they can block all signals coming in, so that kind of would prevent anything from coming through unless Elizabeth showed up in the flesh. And the one person they've got left is Gretchen. We haven't seen Gretchen in many episodes now. She was a pretty big part of those first few episodes of the season. That was where Lois had most of her focus at first. So potentially she could come back in, but also there is Amanda. Now, I don't think Amanda by herself is going to flip on Lex, but she certainly has a lot of information and she could be someone that can be used if Lex potentially turns against her. But obviously now they're intimate, as you saw at the end of last episode with them kissing. Like, I don't know if that is possible at all at this stage, but Lois is freaking out because she's ripping everything down because, as I said, nothing is working out for her. So I think in this episode, she's really going to have to start from scratch and figure out, okay, now that Lex is seen to be not the proper villain that she knows he is to the public, she's got to think of a way of properly exposing him, whether that's by filming or photographing him fighting Superman in a suit, or catching him in the act, or potentially exposing his shady dealings with other people like Gretchen. She really is going to have to go back to the drawing board and figure out, how can I stop Lex Luthor whilst the physical battles going on between Superman and the Superboys and Lex. Now let's move on to the next shot. After this we've got Lex and he is working with Milton, and I want to draw your attention to Milton's setup because it's really over the top. It's got a million screens. It's definitely a gamer's paradise. However, look at the lighting that they put on the screens. Everything is purple and you got a green backlight. That is the classic Lex Luthor colors, the green and the purple, and obviously the green is classic Brainiac as well, so I love that attention to detail that draws you over there. Milton is going to be playing a big role in obviously amping up the suit, making it extremely powerful. I don't know if we're going to get anything more of Milton beyond that, but in the short time that we saw him in last episode, he definitely seems like a intriguing figure, and I want to see if he's actually going to go full Brainiac and go full evil, and potentially would he look like Brainiac at some point in the show. I feel like, nah, they're not going to give him the green skin and everything. But in this shot you got Lex and he is looking at the suit, and the suit is all blue on the inside because he is working on it and he is trying to basically enhance everything that's inside of it. Now let's move on to the next shot after this. We've seen this in a previous trailer and Lex says, "I'm coming after everything you've ever loved," as they stand face to face. This is a proper face off, Superman versus Lex Luthor. I really can't wait to see how this fight goes down, because now we're going to see them in proper action with Superman using his full strength and Lex using the full capabilities of his newly upgraded suit that he stole last episode. And so this is going to be a great standoff between the two of them. Now the final thing to talk about in the trailer is of Jonathan, because Jonathan says we need to take him out, referring to Lex Luthor. They want to kill him, and Clark says that's not how we do things, and then Jonathan, it cuts to him, he says maybe it should be. Now that is a interesting statement, because most fans would be like, yeah, just do it, but obviously it's Superman, it's Superboy, you can't do that, you can't kill your enemies, otherwise that's not Superman. He sticks by his principles that he's got. Obviously this Superman, Tyler Superman, has his own principles compared to other Supermans out there, but it is a very valid point to bring up. Well, we should just end him, right? Like, that's the only way to defeat him, because he is 2 steps ahead of us and we can't get the better of him. But Clark is having none of that, and they are obviously not going to kill him. But the title suggests Superman could be on the chopping block once again. it is a very risky move to put him out in the field right now, especially when he's going to be coming up against Lex, who is going to be loaded with kryptonite for sure. So that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and a comment to help this video get out there, and also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. But for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.